Thank you so much for joining me today for this practice. This practice is especially designed for tired mornings, just designed to help get some energy moving through your body, helping you to connect that energy so you can get through the day ahead of you. I hope you enjoy this practice. Let's get started. Alrighty, let's start seated on our mat. Nice and comfortable. I'm gonna have my tea nearby because I get super thirsty while we're practicing. Just loop your shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Lengthen up through the spine. Close your eyes. Slow down your breath to a 3 or 4 second inhale. Match that length with the exhale. Take a couple of breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then if you can, inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And when you're ready, you can softly open your eyes. Lift the fingertips up overhead. As you exhale, right hand down, left hand comes up and over. Big stretch in the left side body. Like really push down through your left hip and reach over with your left hand. As you inhale, come on up. And then exhale to the other side. Left hand down, right hand's reaching up and over. Just start to stretch through that rib cage area, helping the breath move. As you inhale, come up. And let's interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling. Maybe drop the shoulders down and away from your ears. Bring the pinky fingers back behind you so you're getting a little back bend in your upper back. And then let's use the strength of your core to turn your chest to face out over the right knee. You can release your fingertips and drop your hands, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind. Lengthen up through the spine and roll the right shoulder back. A couple of breaths here just like this. Really rolling that right shoulder back, keeping both hips pressed evenly into the mat. Inhale to come up. You can join the palms overhead, interlace the fingers, put the palms towards the ceiling. Maybe interlace them the other way this time, the way that feels a little funny in your fingers. And then let's, nice straight spine, turn the chest to face the left knee. And drop the hands, right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind your hips. Just lengthen up through the spine as you roll the left shoulder back. Stay open and broad across the collarbones. Just breathing through this twist. Inhale, coming back up to center. And then as we exhale, let's bring the hands down in front of your legs and roll over your feet. Come to a tabletop pose. Or just make your way there, whatever way feels good. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's take a couple of cat-cows. Lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly, rolling the shoulders back, crown of the head high, stretching through the front of the body on the inhale. And then exhale, turn the tailbone down, lift the navel, broaden the shoulders, tuck the chin, drop the crown of the head. Couple more times, moving through these two poses. Just moving so it feels good. Paying special attention to this movement as the movement up and down your spine. Major pathway of energy in the body, and what we're really trying to activate and start that energy moving through the spine. So just focusing there. Last time. And let's come to a neutral spine. You want to take one stretch for the tops of your wrists. So turn your palms up, your fingertips back towards your knees. Now you can do one hand at a time or both hands together. It's up to you. So you're coming into the tabletop. Elbows can be slightly bent, bringing some weight into those wrists, into the tops of your wrists. Again, if both hands at the same time is too much, just do one at a time. No problem. You can unhook your hands, maybe curl into your toes, slide your hips back over your heels, and come up to sit, stretching into the bottom of the feet and giving the hands one more little bit of relief. I like to just roll my wrists in one direction and then the other. Maybe some sparkles with the hands. Fists and open. A couple of times, waking up the hands and then coming back to our tabletop pose. Curl into the toes one more time and lift up and back into a downward facing dog. Take it easy here in down dog. You can swing your hips, shake your head, move around. Whatever way feels good within the frame of this practice. Lifting heels, shaking out your shoulders, taking a little spinal twist, whatever feels good. Experiment with it. And then once you've got that sort of out of your system, let your heels drop back towards the back of the mat, drop the head. Press into the hands, lift the hips a little bit higher. Take a couple of breaths here, just like this in this stillness. Enjoying the stretch up the back of your legs. And when you're ready, bring your gaze forward between your thumbs, lift your heels, bend your knees, and bring your feet to the front of the mat. Find a halfway lift, rolling the shoulders back, kissing the shoulder blades together, reaching the collarbones, the crown of your head forward, the hips back. And then exhale to a forward fold. Soften your knees and take opposite elbows for a waterfall pose. Again, move around within the frame of this pose in any way that feels good for you. So you can shake your head, swing your arms from side to side, release it through the shoulders. Maybe they're fast movements, maybe they're slow movements, or maybe you're still, whatever, finding what feels good for you is what's important here. Drop the fingertips to the mat, soften your knees. Let's take a slow spinal roll up. So keep your eyes on your big toes and just really slowly come up to stand. Keep your knees nice and soft. Put the shoulders up over the hips and then crown of the head high as we straighten the knees. Inhale, the fingertips up overhead. As we exhale, let's take an easy twist to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Stretch it through both your fingertips. Inhale up to center. And exhale the other direction. Inhale to come up. And then exhale to fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift. And then as we exhale, soften the knees, bring your hands to the mat, and step your feet back to the back of the mat. Inhale the shoulders forward, and exhale to lower all the way to the mat. Inhale, lift into a baby cobra. So you're light in the hands, elbows are pulled in towards your waist and back towards the back of the mat. Press into the tops of your feet to stay as you're holding this. Loop the shoulders back and down. So you're leading with your collarbones, with your chest. Exhale to release. Inhale to come up again. Again, we'll stay. This time, just turn your chin towards your right shoulder. Keep pulling your left shoulder back, your left elbow back and in. Come into center. And then bring your chin to your left shoulder. Pull your right shoulder back. Your right elbow in towards your waist. Press into the tops of your feet. Coming to center. Next, exhale, release all the way down. Inhale up to table or plank. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. And let's inhale to lift the right heel. Keep your shoulders, your hips squared and level. And one more nice big breath in here. And then as we exhale, let's bring that right foot forward between the hands. Drop down into the left knee. And inhale, the fingertips up. Coming to our kneeling lunge. As we exhale, sweep the fingertips back towards the back of the mat and lift your left knee. Coming to like an arrow lunge, crown of the head is forward or hinge slightly forward at the hips. Inhale, fingertips up. Coming to our crescent lunge. As we exhale, hands to heart center, and let's take this into a prayer twist. You can turn your chest to the right and settle your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Now you can always drop back down into your left knee if you like. Or you can press back through that left heel, forward through the left shoulder. Gaze wherever it feels good. That left leg is straight and strong. Inhale. Unwind from this. Stay forward in your crescent lunge, reaching the fingertips forward now. Arrow lunge. As we exhale, bring the hands down. Frame the front foot. Settle the left knee back down onto the mat. And let's take a hamstring stretch. Bring the hips back. Lift the right toes. Nice stretch for the back of the right leg here. You can walk your hands in till they're underneath your shoulders. Pull the low belly in and roll down over that right leg. Feel like you're drawing your navel along the thigh towards your knee. Looking for some length in that low back. Keep pulling the right outer hip in. It wants to slide out to the side to make some space for you. Just don't let it, so that we're enhancing that stretch in the back of the leg. And then if you want to bring the stretch to the outer right hip, just roll on your right heel and let the pinky toe side of your foot drop towards the mat. Definitely an option. You want to get some of that stretch and keep pulling back with the hips. And then let's bring the toes up again. Come up high, perch up high on your fingertips. Point your right toes towards the front of the mat. Pull the low belly in. See if you can lift that right heel. And then snake that right foot underneath you, coming to a tabletop pose with the right leg extended back behind you. Nice big breath in. And then as we exhale, press your way back to your three-legged down dog with the right leg high. As you exhale, hinge forward, knee to nose, coming to like a plank pose, squeezing your knee in towards your chest. We'll reach the right foot back to meet the left plank pose. Let's take a side plank on the right here. Roll onto your right hand, outer right foot, inner left foot. Left hand can stay on the mat, maybe perched up on your fingertips. Left hand can come to your hip. Reach up towards the ceiling, overhead, lots of options here. Left foot can stay staggered in front of your right. You can stack them. Or if you like, you can lift your left foot. Whatever you've chosen, let's make our way now back onto the mat, coming onto the toes, the left hand onto the mat. From here you can take child's pose, down dog, or you can float forward on an inhale. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Right away, lift the left heel, inhale. As you exhale, the left foot comes forward between the hands. Drop down into the right knee. Inhale, sweep your fingertips forward now. Curl into the back toes, and as you exhale, sweep your fingertips back towards the back of the mat, lifting your right knee. Inhale, sweep the fingertips forward and up now. Coming to your crescent lunge. As you exhale, sink the hips, hands to heart center. Let's take that prayer twist on this side. Right elbow to the right knee. Left elbow's high. Lengthen through the spine. Pull the low belly in. Roll the left shoulder back. Press into your right heel. Lift the back of your knee towards the ceiling. One more full cycle of breath here. And then on your next inhale, turn the crown of the head forward, reach the fingertips forward. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down, frame that front foot, drop into the right knee. And let's take the hips back, hamstring stretch on the left side. You can reach forward with your hands at first, and then walk them in underneath your shoulders. Roll your torso down over that left leg. Just find length here. If you like, you can turn your toes to the left. Bring the stretch into the outer hip. Just keep drawing that left hip in towards the center of your mat. Now bring the toes up. Point the toes forward. Perch up tall on your fingertips. Pull the low belly in. Lift that left heel. And then bring the left foot back to the back of the mat. Kind of swirling it in underneath you. Coming to a table extension. Curl the right toes under. And we'll lift up to a three-legged dog with the left leg up. As we exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to plank pose. As you exhale, you can take side plank on the left. So plant the left hand and roll to the outer left foot and the right foot. Right hand can stay on the mat, your hip, reach up. Lots of options here. Right foot can stay staggered or stack over your left. If you like, you can reach that right foot up. I'm coming right off my mat here. So if you like, you can bring that right foot up. Having some balance issues today. Coming back onto your plank pose. From here you have a choice, child's pose, down dog, open vinyasa. Inhaling, shoulders forward. Exhale to lower, halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands in towards our feet. Take your time. Find yourself in a standing forward fold at the back of your mat. Hands are shoulder width apart. Fingers spread wide, gazing down between your thumbs. So have your hand walked as far forward as you need to have a full plant of your palms onto the mat. And then begin to lean forward, bring your weight into your hands. You can lift your heels, come up onto your toes. Lift the sits bones up towards the ceiling. And then bring your weight back into your feet, but keep your heels lifted. Come up onto your fingertips. You maybe soften your knees a little bit here. And again, a slow spinal roll up. Coming all the way up to stand, wobbling around on those ankles if you're anything like me. Hands up overhead when you get here. Heels are still lifted. Let's bring the hands to heart center. And now bend into the knees, starting to bring the hips down towards your heels. Coming into a really low, little ball of yarn. You can give your knees a little hug here. Tuck your chin, get yourself as small as you can. And then bring your fingertips to the mat. Let your knees come wide. And plant your hands onto the mat, bringing your knees up high on your triceps. Hands are on the mat, fingers spread wide. You can play with how you want your hands planted. I like to turn mine out so my first finger is pointing at the top of the mat. Everybody's built a little bit differently though, so that's something that you need to experiment with. Now you can stay just like this and during the stretch, you can start to work into crow pose. Lift your hips and just begin to play with bringing your weight into your hands. Notice that it's a forward action, that we're tipping forward. Maybe eventually you tip forward so far that toes or heels come up. Toes, one toe, one set of toes, or the other set of toes come up off the mat, maybe both. Just having fun with this pose. And coming back down out of it, back into your low yogi squat. Bring one hand behind your hips, the other in front, and settle your hips down onto the mat. Let's scooch into the center of the mat. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, forward fold over your feet into a butterfly pose. And we're starting to be more still in the pose and the practice at this point. So if there's any last little wiggles or side stretches that you need to get out, this is a good time to do that. And turn your head from side to side. And roll your shoulders back up over your hips. Use your hands, help your knees in. Bring your feet to the width of the mat. And take your left hand and bring it to the outside of your, like bring the back of your hand to your rib cage, and then hook your knee, your elbow inside the left knee. So you should be feeling a nice stretch, or you may be feeling a nice stretch in the and turn in the left shoulder. Do the same thing on the other side. So right hand to the right rib cage, right elbow inside the right knee. Rounding the spine here, tucking the chin. Now it might feel like a lot to do both arms at the same time, so you can feel free to do one arm at a time to open up the shoulders in this way. And if you want a little more sensation, you can start to draw the knees toward one another. Really turning the shoulders. Two more breaths here. Now releasing the hands one at a time. We'll come down onto our backs. So take your time here, tuck the chin, reach the hands forward, or use your hands to support you. It's up to you. As you come all the way down onto your back. Bring your feet to the width of your mat. Let your knees knock in towards one another. Hands can rest wherever it feels good for you. You can stretch them up like a Y over your head, or like a T, or maybe you want to rest them on your body. It's up to you. Now let your right knee fall a little bit further down and underneath your left knee. And then you can take your left foot and settle it to the outside of your right knee. Let that foot be heavy, drawing the right knee down towards the mat. Stretching along the hip flexors in the front of the body. Noticing here, we're getting a nice stretch in the hip, maybe a little arc or arch in the spine. So keep breathing through that. Feeling the energy moving up and down the spine. And bring your left foot back to the edge of the mat. Inhale the knees up to center. Knock your knees in towards one another again, and this time let your left knee drop down underneath your right. Taking your right foot, settle the outer right ankle onto the outer left knee. Let that leg be heavy, drawing the left knee down towards the floor. Stretching into the left side. Take a little bit of a back bend here, helping churn up some energy in the body. Back up to center. From here, find a resting pose for Savasana. So you can take corpse pose with your arms and legs extended, or maybe you want to lie on your side in butterfly or in the fetal position, or come to a butterfly pose. Hands can rest next to you or overhead on your body. So again, moving around, finding what feels good for you. Just a couple of breaths here. And connecting in with the energy in your body, the energy that's there that we've started to move around in your body. You're ready to begin moving again. Just begin by wiggling your fingers and toes. Stretch out through the heels, the hands reaching up overhead. Maybe a full body stretch. Oh, maybe with the yawn. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Swaying from side to side. And then when you're ready, tuck your chin. You can roll the length of your spine or from one side to the other. Finding your way to a seated pose. Get nice and comfortable in your seated pose. Long spine, loop the shoulders back and down, just the way we began the practice. Inhaling the fingertips up overhead. As we exhale, draw your thumbs to the third eye for peace in our thoughts. The thumbs to the lips for peace in our words. The thumbs to your heart, peace in your heart. Hinge forward. Our final pose for today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. I'm so glad you were here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you are full of energy and ready to greet your day. If you like this practice, please go ahead, hit the like button, the subscription button, all that stuff, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the podcast. Namaste.